Bro chops up some cabbages while simultaneously frying an egg. It was the final preparation he needed to do before opening his shop. But little did he know, outside, a few guards hiding in a bush reported to their superior that the food truck was opening soon. At a busy intersection, hundreds of people receive a notification message with today's location of Bro's food truck. Chaos follows as people even try to hijack a bus to redirect it toward the food truck, and the driver gives in without struggle, saying he wants to go there as well. In a university, students start running toward the exit, and the professors tell them to move out of the way unless they want an F even in corporate buildings. People start taking half-day leaves just to go to the food truck. The city surveillance team watches as the number of people in the live crowd goes from 100K to 200K, then suddenly jumps to 1 million. A pretty lady says she should get going herself before it's too late. Determined not to miss the food truck this time, she walks past dozens of guards bowing down to her. Not just her, but also a famous surfer, a cowgirl, and a moto racer all make their way toward the truck. One of the college students reaches the truck first. She thinks she wasn't late today, already dreaming about the food. Big Bro ties a towel over his head and starts welcoming the sea of women who came to see him, but it wasn't always like that. Big Bro was once depressed, lying in his bed, endlessly scrolling through outstanding loan payments and lawyers threatening legal action against him. He had lost $2 million in a scam. They told him all he had to do was buy some products and write good reviews to double his money, and Bro handed over his savings without a second thought. Later, he reads articles about the scam, even seeing replies flaming people who fell for something so obvious. Even Bro's family, who were always begging him for money, cut contact after hearing about his downfall. He also lost his job after taking too many emotional damage days off. He buys as much booze as he can and starts drinking the moment he steps out of the store. But while walking through the streets, he smells something amazing. A food truck named Deok. In his hands lies his remaining net worth, just a few pennies. The uncle inside the truck asks what a young man like him is doing with such a gloomy expression. Bro gets angry and tells the uncle not to talk like they know each other. But the uncle hands him some food, saying it's on the house since Bro looks hungry. Bro's mouth starts watering, unable to refuse. With nothing left to lose, he takes a bite, and bam. He discovers the reason for human existence. It was to eat. Bro feels like he's being wrapped in sauce, melting from the inside with warmth. His words, not mine. He starts crying like a baby for the first time in a long while and drops the 3 coins he had into the uncle's money basket. The uncle asks if it wasn't good. With puppy dog eyes, Bro says he wants to do it too, make food that comforts people. The uncle throws a towel at his face, asking what he's waiting for, and tells him to get in the truck. 3 years pass quickly, and Bro works with the uncle the entire time to repay his kindness. Although the uncle is no more, the debt in Bro's heart can never be repaid. The uncle's ghost starts nagging him for not measuring the flour properly. Bro looks up at the sky, asking his uncle to watch over him as he makes a name for the food truck. The uncle's ghost shouts at him for messing up the recipe. Meanwhile, in a luxurious restaurant, workers whisper about how it was even possible to rent out the entire 5-star restaurant. It was done by the only daughter of the SH Group, the world's #1 conglomerate, Miss Sihi. As she's served, the chef himself starts yapping about the food, as master chefs always do. The workers gossip about how Miss Sihi commuted to grad school by helicopter and how she recently bought a private island. They talk about how jealous they are of her perfect life. She aggressively cuts into her steak, thinking about how disgusting it is that her clothes, food, and entire life are constantly judged. These fancy dishes are made only to flatter, there's no sincerity in them. She spits out the food, shocking everyone. Even the best chefs in the world make her sick. Left with a hollow loneliness money can't fill, she feels like a misplaced piece, slowly suffocating. While waiting at a traffic light, she mutters that she can't breathe. The driver asks if he should open the window, but she's already outside the car, waving goodbye. She jumps over a taxi and starts running. The driver sweats as he informs his superior that the young lady has run away. She walks confidently through the streets, having left her phone and purse behind so she can't be tracked for a while. Dancing slightly, she says she'll live as the real Sihi for at least one day. But she wonders how long she can survive with only a few $100,000 checks. As if the universe answers her, she sees a piece of paper looking for part-time workers, paying $10 an hour. She thinks that must mean $100,000 per hour and decides it's not bad. She gets the job immediately. A man who looks like a burnt potato argues that buy one get one free means he should get one at 50% off. She agrees and scans it with a smile, surprising even the customer. An old man trades his chicken for a bottle of soju and she gladly accepts without complaint. When the owner returns, he finds the store turned into a complete war zone. She confidently tells him everything is perfectly fine. The boss kicks her out. She gets kicked out of the next shop, then the one after that, and then again for the 4th time. She goes to a coffee shop wondering why she keeps getting fired even though she smiles and stays polite. Waving her 100K checks around, she asks how much the drink costs. The barista jokes that 600K should be enough. Her world shatters. She runs out apologizing, leaving behind the 500K check and the drink. After running for a while, she collapses, saying life must be tough for common people. She cries, realizing that without money and status, she's nothing. Then suddenly, a wonderful smell hits her nose. Big Bro is on the side of the road, cooking fish cakes. He watches him for a while as he cooks. Bro asks how many she wants. She quickly shakes her head, saying she doesn't want any, but after thinking, she asks if he takes credit. She explains she's been fired from every job she tried. Bro says he doesn't take credit. The uncle's ghost asks how a rich-looking girl like her doesn't even have 30 cents. He looks down gloomily and mutters that she's useless without money. It reminds Bro of himself 3 years ago. Taking pity on her, he tells her to get into the truck. They switch places and Bro asks her to give him one fish cake. She panics. Bro tells her to hurry because he's hungry. She pours the batter, adds the red beans like she saw him do, and closes the lid. She opens it again, praying it turns out okay. It's completely burnt. She apologizes again, thinking she's pathetic and should have stayed in her fishbowl life. Bro starts eating the burnt cake so bad even the uncle's ghost refuses to touch it. He asks what he's doing and points out that it's burnt. Bro says it's still edible. He hands her 30 cents and asks if she didn't say she couldn't get a job. Then he asks if she wants to try running the food truck with him. Bro's Riz attack lands a critical hit, but Bro isn't even trying to Riz, he just wants to help. She grabs his hand and says she'd love to work with him, calling him by the name of the store. Later that night, Sihi hands out the last of the fish cakes before they sell out. With sparkles in her eyes, she asks if she was helpful. Bro looks back at the bin filled with burnt fish cakes and says she could have been worse. She leans closer, saying that's a relief and promises to work hard again tomorrow, calling him Mr. Deok-chun. Bro tells her his name is Jun, but she turns away to sneeze. Bro says she worked hard today, covers her with a jacket, and tells her to wear it on her way back home. She starts blushing while smelling the jacket. Unk is proud of his students Riz once again, but when Bro asks where she lives so he can drop her off, she starts sweating. She admits she just found a job and doesn't have anywhere to go. Unk and Bro's jaws drop to the floor. They think she's homeless. She's dressed like a celebrity and looks stunning, so he never imagined she'd be homeless. Bro hands her some cash and tells her to get a hotel for the night, but her stomach growls, making her blush. Bro thinks she really knows how to make someone worry as he looks away. He drives back to his place and starts making ramen, saying it's all he has. She picks up his cat and says it sounds amazing, adding that she's only had it once 5 years ago. The noodles she's talking about look like they cost his yearly salary. Both Unk and Bro are shocked, wondering how poor she must have been to not even afford ramen. She leaves out the fact that she can't eat things like ramen because of her set meal plan. She then says Bro's cat looks just like him. He explains it's just a stray that comes by sometimes. She says she thought the place was a storage shed, but it turns out to be a house for a stray cat instead. Bro looks back with a serious expression and says this is his house. He blinks, tilts her head, and asks why. Bro asks what she means by why. A few minutes later, he finishes cooking and goes back inside to grab smaller bowls. When he returns, he sees a gluttonous monster slurping down the ramen at incredible speed. She says the noodles are soft, savory, and spicy, and asks how he made them like this. He explains it starts with whisking an egg and milk mixture, then mixing the cooked noodles into it, and finally pouring the broth on top. He flops back onto the floor, satisfied, saying she can't remember the last time she ate this much and that the meal was truly delicious. She says she'll sleep on the floor since she's already imposing. Bro suggests pulling a curtain down the middle and says she can sleep with him. She asks if he won't feel cramped. Bro says it's not cramped at all, he's basically standing horizontally. Ghost Unk declares her perfect daughter-in-law material while calling his student an idiot. She thanks Bro for everything he did today, saying she wanted to feel like she could do something on her own. She adds that he's the first person who ever believed in her. Sitting up on the bed, she says she felt like she was living as the real Sihee today. She promises to change his life for giving her such a precious day and asks how much it would cost just as she slides the curtain aside. But bro is already out cold. Even Ghost Unk is disappointed. Suddenly, a bright light floods the room. An military man crashes through the window, shouting that he found the young lady. He grabs her as a helicopter lifts off. She reaches out toward bro. Unk reaches out too, telling her not to leave and calling her his daughter-in-law. Bro sleeps through everything. When he wakes up the next morning, he's confused by the broken window. Later that day, he opens the food truck again. Unk complains that he thought he was finally getting a pretty daughter-in-law and could leave his idiot student behind and go to heaven. Bro suddenly realizes she looks exactly like Sihee from the commercials. He rushes out in shock. It really is her. He wonders how he didn't realize sooner, especially when she asked how much it would cost to change his life. Unk can't believe it and calls his student an idiot, moron, and dimwit for blowing such a chance. He thinks there's no way his idiot student will ever see her again after the chaos of last night. Then she suddenly pops up out of nowhere, saying she's back. Bro asks why she left without a word and if anything happened, considering the broken window. She suddenly hands him a check for $7 million, saying it's for yesterday and all the trouble, asking him to accept it even though it's not much. Unk's jaw drops when he sees the number. Bro, however, stays suspiciously calm. She steps into the truck, saying it looks different today, and asks what's on the menu. Bro throws the $7 million check into the trash, saying they're making crispy fried chicken, wondering why a homeless girl would give him fake checks. Sihee says she loves crispy fried chicken. Unk desperately tries to grab the check with his ghost hands, screaming at his idiot student to pick it up and begging his daughter-in-law to talk some sense into him. With sparkles in her eyes, Sihee asks if she can help as well. Unk pulls his hair out, asking if she didn't just see his idiot student throw away the check. Bro shields himself from the excitement radiating from her and tells her she can help with the batter. Sihee has no idea what that means. She speaks Spanish, English, Chinese, Arabic, Portuguese, and 15 other languages. She's skilled in broadcasting, horseback riding, underwater training, and plays 7 instruments, but making batter is new to her. She ties her hair into a ponytail and says she'll try her best. Bro glances at her outfit and warns it might get dirty. She tells him not to worry, unzips her clothes, and tosses them aside. She came prepared with comfortable clothes this time. Bro turns red, looking terrified. Sihee accidentally drops fries into the hot oil, causing it to explode. She says it sounds kind of crazy and asks what they should do as oil pops everywhere. She screams and shuts her eyes. Bro rushes over, asking if she's okay. She slowly opens her eyes to see him standing in front of her, shielding her with a blanket. She moves closer, gently touching his face, wondering what she's supposed to do about him, blushing hard. Suddenly, someone calls her by her full government name. Both of them freeze. It's her mother's voice. Elsewhere, at an expensive studio, staff are ordered to make way for the chairwoman. Yoon Hee-young, chairwoman of the SH group, asks where her daughter is. The director admits Sihee hasn't arrived and can't be contacted. She snaps her fingers, summoning Secretary Kim, and orders her to find her daughter even if she has to go herself. She arrives to find her daughter under a cover with a man in the back of a food truck. Unk sweats bullets. Guards swarm the truck as Bro demands to know who they are. He's restrained while Secretary Kim asks for permission to get rid of him. The chairwoman says she'll hear him out first, whether it's an excuse or his last words. Bro explains they only work together for a day as owner and part-timer. Sihee backs him up. The chairwoman picks up a piece of fried chicken and asks how much it costs. Bro says $7. She mocks it as a fitting price for commoners. Bro tries to clarify it's $7 for everything, but she cuts him off, asking if he even knows who Sihee is. He says he has no idea. She claims it's natural for him to pretend, given their difference in status. She leans forward and asks if he likes her daughter. Bro says no. She frowns and says that means he loves her. Bro asks how she reached that conclusion, but she ignores him and asks if he spent the night with her daughter. Bro insists they only ate ramen. Sihee does nothing to clear the misunderstanding. The chairwoman says she's heard enough and orders a doctor. Bro slams the table, begging her to listen and insisting nothing happened. In a blink, she's inches from his face, asking if he's saying he was just seeing her daughter casually. Everyone waits for his answer. He looks away and says it's not like that. She immediately asks if he plans to marry her, demanding how a street vendor dares think that far. Bro is speechless. She snaps again. Secretary Kim opens a suitcase full of cash. Sihee tells her mother to stop. Unk explodes, yelling about how she dares look down on his student and declares he'd never let him marry into such a shabby family. She drops 9 more of those suitcases and offers 10 billion. Unk instantly switches sides, teleporting behind her, calling her mother-in-law while massaging her shoulders and asking if she's single. The chairwoman throws the money at Bro and tells him to take it and marry her daughter. Sihee is stunned. Bro stays calm and asks why they're suddenly talking about marriage. He and Sihee look at each other, completely confused about what's happening. When the money is thrown at Bro, Sihee thinks it's meant to make him cut ties with her. She's about to shout at her mother to stop again, but instead, her mom tells Bro to marry Sihee. She instantly switches teams, softly saying how embarrassing this is. The chairwoman then adds that there are conditions for this marriage. Bro says he isn't interested. She leans closer again, saying he's cute, but tells him not to get scared yet. She points at his food truck and tells him to get rid of it first, then join their company. If he's going to be Sihee's husband, the heiress of the SH group, he has to match her status. Bro turns around like a vigilante of justice and slams the suitcase shut. He says he knew it. He asks if they were after his truck all along. The chairwoman looks confused and asks what he means. He says he has a good nose for one thing, the smell of a con artist. The chairwoman says she likes his spirit but hates a horse she can't control. Bro ripped a great day to be an obedient horse. He says it's perfect because he was never planning to give up the truck to anyone. He takes back the fried chicken and walks away, telling them not to come looking for him again. Halfway out, he turns back to look at Sihee and says that includes her too. Sihee raises her hand, asking what he means. Later, at the SH group's main office, inside the chairwoman's office, Sihee asks why her mother did that. She says she's lived her entire life according to her mother's wishes, and for the first time she wanted something for herself, her mother ruined it. She says she told her mother she found someone she liked and asks if this happened because her beloved couldn't even make 7 million in a whole month. Her mother calmly sips her coffee as Sihee continues, asking if she's looking down on him just because his house is small. Sihee keeps going, breathing heavily until her mother asks if she's done. She stands up and says she doesn't care who Sihee dates, there's no equal to their family anyway. She says she'll allow Sihee to date that man, but that pathetic little food truck has to go. She orders Sihee to make sure he can't run it anymore. She tells her daughter to just do as she's told for the sake of the SH group, just like she always has, calling her a good girl. Back at the food truck, Bro cleans Uncle's photo and asks if he's surprised by what happened. He says he'll protect the truck his uncle passed down to him no matter what. Ghost Uncle tries to bite his head off, asking if he's crazy for throwing away 70 million won like that. Bro looks at the truck, remembering Sihee. He helped her because he saw himself in her, pausing just like his uncle once helped him. He wonders if she was after his truck from the very beginning with that innocent act. He almost got scammed again. He dares them to try it once more, saying he'll protect the truck with his life. Meanwhile, Sihee is wrecking her room while Secretary Kim tries to calm her from outside. She collapses onto the bed, saying this is all her mother's fault. She says her pride must have been hurt, but then scoffs, asking who would even say yes for just 70 million anyway. She says her beloved doesn't want to see her anymore, and it hurts. She doesn't know what her mother might do next to her cute, precious food truck owner. Hugging his plushie tightly, she says she has to protect him no matter what. She remembers the first time they met, the time he gave her his jacket, and the moment he shielded her from the hot oil. She realizes she's already fallen for him hard. Suddenly, she jumps up, shouting that she has an idea. She runs out, hugging Secretary Kim and telling her to prepare something. Secretary Kim asks what this is all of a sudden, and Sihee says she wants to prepare a proposal. Early the next morning, Bro steps out of his house, yawning, saying it's perfect weather for business. He hears a helicopter flying overhead and wonders what's going on. He sees it towing a truck, completely normal. Then he starts sweating. It's his truck. He shouts for the helicopter to stop, but it's already too far away. He starts running downhill after it, spots a bike on the side of the road, quickly pays for it on his phone, and speeds off in pursuit. When he finally reaches the destination, barely breathing, he demands his truck back. Then something shines. A massive red truck wrapped in a huge ribbon stands before him. The side door opens, and inside he sees a glimpse of a woman. It's Sihee in a wedding dress. She says she prepared this with all her heart. She pulls the ribbon away, revealing a one-of-a-kind, ultra-luxurious food truck custom-built just for him, a dining cruise that completely surpasses the limits of a normal food truck. She asks what he thinks, saying they'll be together inside that truck from now on. Bro stares at her with an angry expression and asks what she's done. But before that, when Sihi is inside the truck cutting vegetables while humming a tune, Bro gently grabs both her hands and leans close to her face, almost like he's hugging her from behind. He asks if he didn't tell her not to do anything dangerous. Sihi says she just wanted to help him. Bro hugs her and says she's already done enough for him with all these gifts. He says he loves her and leans in for a kiss. Yeah, like our brick-brained MC would ever do that. The girl's just delusional. Manager Kim snaps Sihi back to her senses and asks what's so great about that food truck driver anyway. She starts listing Sihi's assets. The Sky Heart, the world's largest blue diamond at 180 carats, appraised at roughly $65 million, a private art collection worth over $21 billion. 12 solo-developed climate satellites, a private space station floating at an altitude of 19,000 miles, a hidden underwater fleet, and 30-floor sole occupancy buildings in downtown Tokyo, Paris, New York, and Seoul. Compared to all that, the man owns nothing but a truck. Sihi blushes and says he filled the emptiness in her heart in a way nothing else ever could. Even though she owns all those things, they were never what she truly wanted. For the first time in her life, she wanted something desperately, something she never wanted to lose. The moments she spent with him in that food truck felt like magic. Inside that truck, it didn't matter who she was. It was happiness money could never buy. She says she prepared all of this for herself to be happy. And of course, that meant making Bro the happiest man in the world too. She wanted to change his life like a Cinderella story. All he had to do was put on the glass shoe she prepared for him. Yeah, Bro shatters the glass shoe. When he sees the truck, he explodes in disgust, shouting at her and asking what she's done. He tells her not to dirty the name of his shop. Sihi, completely confused, asks why he's angry. Secretary Kim immediately shields Sihi and demands how a nobody dares shout at her. Bro says he's been through this before, scammers luring people in with pretty dreams before taking everything from them. Secretary Kim grabs his collar and asks what he means. Bro shakes her off and walks away, saying he's not falling for this again. He turns back to Sihi and says he doesn't care if she's from a conglomerate. He tells her he has no intention of moving away from the name Deok-chun and dares her to try taking it from him. This potato thinks he's hitting on her, telling her to take his heart. Her expression lights up as she stares at his face. The next day, after managing to get his truck back, Bro starts making hot dogs on sticks, sprinkling salt like Salt Bae before handing them to customers. Meanwhile, behind the only tree nearby, Sihi, wearing a terrible disguise, giggles, saying she'll help him sell everything today. Bro feels like business is booming for some reason, but something feels off. He can't quite put his finger on it. A guard nervously compliments the hot dog the moment he receives it. Bro tells him to at least take a bite first. He looks around suspiciously, wondering why all the customers look like men in black cosplayers. After serving them all, he calls for the next customer. Disguised Sihi asks him to sell her every hot dog he has left. Bro immediately refuses. She comes back after stealing a bodyguard's outfit and drawing a beard with a marker. Bro says he can still tell it's her. She returns again after mugging a mascot for its helmet. Bro takes it off her head, calling her persistent. She pouts and asks why he won't sell her anything, calling him mean. She hops into the truck and begs him to give her a chance, saying she's ready to do anything. Bro stares at her for a second, then launches a surprise hug. Sihi's eyes go wide. She gets flustered and starts breathing heavily, remembering the kiss from her dream and saying she's not ready yet. 2 seconds later, she leans in and says she's ready. This pea-brain asks what she's doing. Sihi realizes it wasn't even a hug, he was just tying an apron around her waist. He tells her to earn it fair and square if she wants to eat, because he won't take money from SH or anyone else. She immediately throws off the apron and jacket and lunges toward him again. Bro is not amused and says he might need to teach her a lesson. A few seconds later, he covers her from top to bottom with clothes, of course. As they work, someone snaps photos of Sihi handing out hot dogs, spraying hot sauce onto a bodyguard's head, creating an absurdly massive hot dog, and later eating one herself without Bro noticing. She sends all the photos to the chairwoman of SH. Meanwhile, the chairwoman and secretary Kim look at the images, clearly plotting something. At the MC's house while he's taking a shower, his phone starts pinging. He checks it and sees it's Sihi, asking him out on a date over the weekend. Bro quickly turns her down, but she sends him a selfie wearing a black dress, asking if she doesn't look cute in it. He leaves her on read and jumps to his laptop, ignoring her messages. He has one unread email. When he opens it, he springs up in shock. He won. He won a food truck park spot auction at an amusement park. Today's menu is desserts. He prepares ice cream, saying he's all set for business. But for some reason, there's no one around, just floating newspapers and tumbleweed. He leans out of the truck to look at the sun. Opening time has already passed, so he wonders if it's going to rain today. As he's doing that, he hears someone chomping on his ice cream. It's Sihee, wearing the black dress she said she'd wear on their date. She says she made it with a smile. A cold sweat runs down Bro's face as he asks how she found him. Then he realizes it. He asks if this place is also owned by the SH Group. She says he's wrong, then casually adds that no other customers will disturb them today. She proudly announces that she rented out the entire place just for the two of them. Bro finally understands why he won the auction so easily. But he already paid $4,000 for a monthly lease, and if she keeps blocking his business, it's going to be bad. She leans closer and says she rented the place for a whole month so they can take their time. Bro realizes he's doomed. She pulls his arm, telling him to focus only on her for the month, and drags him into the park. Meanwhile, Secretary Kim, who's stalking the Lovebird and Brick combo, says she'll handle the situation for the chairwoman. Even though the chairwoman explicitly told her not to get involved, Kim thinks it's because she isn't trusted. She slams her hand against a wall, saying she'll prove herself in her own way. Later, inside the amusement park, she concludes that the reason Sihee is acting like this is that mere food truck driver. Her job is to eliminate threats like him before they get any closer. While checking the MC's safety buckle, she decides the only way to deal with him is seduction first. She spent thousands of dollars on dating courses last night and mastered every dating theory. She sits in the seat in front of the MC, facing backward. Bro is as confused as we are. Secretary Kim is doing this because she learned that the first step of seduction is constant eye contact. Bro is trapped, staring at her menacing face the entire ride. On another ride, she uses the second step she learned, overwhelming, breathtaking physical touch. Unfortunately, she seems to have taken breathtaking a little too literally. Meanwhile, Sihee is having the best time of her life. She asks if it isn't fun. Bro is completely soaked from head to toe, so it doesn't look like he's enjoying himself. Secretary Kim opens an umbrella for a split second to block the water from hitting Sihee. Sihee runs up to Bro and says there's something she wants to do together. He asks if she's mocking him, but she ignores that and pulls him along again. She says she's always wanted to go on a school uniform date at an amusement park and that they should really enjoy it now. She leans in to kiss his cheek, but our idiot MC blocks it. Later, on another ride, she jumps onto the MC's lap, telling him to save her. The MC says he can't breathe again. Secretary Kim charges in from the other side of the ride, shouting that she won't lose. Halfway through, she jumps straight at them, telling Bro to grab onto her. Bro rage baits her, asking how she became a bodyguard if she can't even handle this much, while offering her his hand. She grabs his hand, cartwheels over him, slams him into the ground, and catches Sihee instead. She wonders why the MC isn't falling for any of her tricks, even though her theory is flawless. She decides to move on to Plan B. She suddenly grabs the wheel in the middle of the ride and spins it with tremendous force. Sihee comments that the weather is perfect for a date. Bro is clinging on for his life. Secretary Kim's plan is simple. When the MC loses consciousness, she'll use the chaos to brainwash him into liking her. She spins the ride faster and faster. Suddenly, the MC grabs her arm and tells her to knock it off. She looks at his hand gripping her, then back at him. He's making eye contact, and there's deep physical contact. She starts blushing but quickly turns away, asking if her tricks are backfiring. In a trembling voice, she asks him to let her go. He leans closer and says he's not letting go. Secretary Kim realizes this man is dangerous, to be able to turn the situation around on a trained professional like her. Then she notices Sihee is still there. Not wanting Sihee to misunderstand, she hurriedly tries to explain. Sihee's head is still spinning. Secretary Kim quickly offers her shoulder for Sihee to lean on as they walk back. Sihee's stomach growls. She gets embarrassed and hugs Kim, whispering for her to tell the MC it was her stomach. Kim says she'll do it at once. The MC says he can still hear both of them. Kim ignores him and says it was her stomach earlier. The MC repeats that he heard them talking before, but Kim shoots him a hostile glare, forcing him to admit defeat. At their next stop, Sihee runs off to the bathroom, telling them to wait for her. Secretary Kim tosses an air gun at the MC and challenges him to a shooting game with a bed attached. Bro sighs and asks what she wants after annoying him all day. She cocks the gun and says she'll be direct. She gives him two options: die or fall in love with her. She aims the gun straight at him. He asks what she's talking about, noticing that her gun looks a bit different from his own. She tells him she'll allow him to fall for her, so he'll stay away from young lady Sihee. He sighs, asking why this crazy family is so eager to get rid of him. He says he doesn't need her even if they give him a truckload of Sihees, and tells Secretary Kim to take her young lady away. He asks why he would want a woman who's after his truck. Secretary Kim pulls the trigger, shooting him in the shoulder. He wonders how it could be a real gun after feeling the pain. She asks what he meant by saying he didn't need their young lady. The MC falls to his knees, clutching his shoulder, but it's fine. She cocks the shotgun once again, saying it was a rubber bullet used for riot control, but it's still capable of making sure he won't be able to use his arm again. She says this is his last chance and tells him to say that he likes her. This bitch is crazy, Bro thinks, before taking off running. Sihee comes back with some snacks. This guy picks her up like a stray cat and throws her over his shoulder while running away. He looks back at the secretary to make sure she won't shoot, and sure enough, she lowers her gun. She throws away her jacket, saying that if she can't have him, then she'll break him instead. He escapes into a haunted house with Sihee. Inside the haunted house, Bro is in his element. Sihee grabs onto his arm tightly and asks if he's finally decided to go on a date with her. He ignores her question and tells her to stick close to him. He just wants to use her as a hostage, of course. The airhead thinks that means yes. Meanwhile, a security camera watches them walk through the halls. Secretary Kim, dressed in a ghost outfit, says she wasn't expecting him to walk into this place on his own. She modified the attraction beforehand for her plans. Sihee tells him this haunted house is the most famous attraction in the park. Secretary Kim thinks their young lady will be able to deal with all the traps like child's play, thanks to her reflexes and athletic ability. The MC accidentally steps on a pressure plate and is yanked back by the collar by Sihee. A massive axe swings in front of them from side to side. It looks way too realistic. Sihee asks if it hasn't gotten even more fun. Suddenly, arrows fly straight down the hallway, aimed at his head. He drops instantly, and all the arrows miss. Sihee, who saved him for the second time, tells him not to worry, saying she'll stick super close to him and protect him. He thinks he's had way too many near-death experiences in one day. Secretary Kim wonders what's happening, saying this ride is supposed to be where the MC saves Sihee from flamethrowers. When the walls close in, Sihee takes the chance to hug the MC while drooling. He then princess carries her out of a room filled with zombies. Secretary Kim realizes things are going against her plans. The MC's flashlight suddenly stops working. When it turns back on, a hot ghost is standing right in front of them. The light turns off again. The ghost darts through the room like a ninja, suddenly appearing next to the MC and going for a kick to his head. He dodges and jumps back, shouting that this is insane as his flashlight finally turns on again. The ghost is gone. She's on the ceiling. He hears fabric fluttering above him as she dives down. The airhead notices a big red button on the side and presses it immediately. Both the MC and Secretary Kim are suddenly trapped in cages. When Secretary Kim opens her eyes, she's kissing the MC on the lips. She instantly kicks him away, saying she's going to kill him for that. At this point, Bro just wants to go home. Sihee crouches beside him, offering her hand and saying they don't have time to rest since there's still so much to explore. He grabs Sihee and runs toward the merry-go-round. Secretary Kim slams the speed-up button on her watch, saying she won't let him escape. The ride starts spinning at insane speed. Sihee smiles and asks what they should do now that they're trapped. He looks at her, wondering if she was in on this the whole time, and tells her to stop. She jumps onto him, saying she's going to stick right by his side, just like he asked earlier, for a whole month. The MC asks what he has to do to make this stop. She hugs him tightly and says he knows exactly what she wants, leaning closer to his face. The ride starts malfunctioning before she can kiss him. Secretary Kim's watch starts flashing red with error messages. The entire amusement park loses power for a few seconds, but then it comes back on. Sihee asks if the power outage startled the MC, but then she realizes he isn't there anymore. Bro is already in his truck, driving away. The penalty for canceling the contract is huge for him, but he can't let that woman toy with him anymore. At this point, just let the man run his truck in peace. In a single day, his life was threatened and he was treated like a toy with their money. He calls Sihee a devilish woman, saying he'll never let her have her way with his truck. His uncle looks disappointed in him as he asks him to watch over the truck. Later that night, in the chairwoman's office, Secretary Kim apologizes. The chairwoman asks if she hadn't told Kim not to get involved. Secretary Kim asks for another chance, saying she'll make sure the MC can't cook for the rest of his life this time, or worse, if necessary. The chairwoman lifts Kim's face and tells her not to interfere again. She says they need to make him leave on his own. If her daughter finds out something went wrong because of her, she'll break down again, just like 20 years ago when she caused her father's death. The next day, at the university festival, the MC sets up his truck among many other food trucks. He stares at the oven as a pizza spins inside. The oven stops and he pulls it out, slicing it as the cheese stretches like crazy. He's still sad about what happened at the amusement park, but he's lucky enough to have secured a spot at the university festival. Seeing students running around brings back old memories. He used to be one of them once. A girl asks for a slice of pepperoni pizza. He says he'll get it ready soon, but then both of them recognize each other. He asks if she is Yuri and whether she isn't the middle school student he remembers. Yuri giggles, saying that was years ago. He says he can't believe she's already this old, though in his eyes she's still a kid. Yuri blushes, thinking the MC is still really handsome. He asks if she's here with her boyfriend. She quickly says that's not the case, explaining he's just a classmate. The boy nods. The MC hands her a slice of pizza. She says she's only going to take one bite since she's on a diet, but the moment she tastes it, she's shocked. The flavor bursts in her mouth. The seasonings melt together and the various cheeses combine into an intense, rich taste that keeps pulling her in for more. Even though she's supposed to be dieting, the bread is crispy on the outside and soft and chewy on the inside. She says it's unfair for bread to be this delicious. She asks when the MC learned to cook so well, saying it's truly amazing. The MC thanks her, saying it's nice to see her eat so happily. She devours the entire slice in seconds, completely forgetting about her diet after the first bite. He asks if she's in the fashion department, noticing her jacket. He remembers she was always good at drawing, even back in school, winning all those awards. She asks if he still remembers that. He says he remembers it clearly, since every time she won something, she'd pester him to buy her a meal, even though he was already a broke university student. She asks if she was really that bratty. He says it's fine because he's proud of her for becoming a student at the best university in the country. He gives her a few more slices, saying she worked really hard. You can't take the Riz away from the Rizzer. Yuri's friends call her from far away. She waves goodbye, saying she'll enjoy the meal. He tells her to share it with her friends, warning her she'll gain weight if she eats it all herself. She gasps, surprised and embarrassed. Before leaving, she turns around and says she'll come back to see him again. He waves goodbye, saying it's a relief to see her doing so well. She looks down at her phone and all her excitement disappears. Fear fills her face as she begs to be let go. It feels as if she's being strangled by a snake. Suddenly, someone calls her name and she snaps out of it. She runs back to her friends, and later in class, she keeps drawing the MC in her notebook, completely clueless to the fact that she's been caught by the professor. Even while walking through the halls, she keeps smiling, accidentally bumping into someone. Her friends ask if something is wrong with her today while putting a bandage on her. Her friend Shin tells the others that she's been like this ever since she met the pizza truck guy. She yells at them, saying he's not just any pizza truck guy. They ask if an uncle like the MC is her type, saying they're dying to know. She starts blushing and hides her face, which only makes her friends more interested. The first time she ever saw him was back when she was in middle school. He was her first love. Whenever they met, he'd give her candy and tease her for never refusing the snacks he gave her. Moments like those piled up and slowly filled her heart. One Christmas night, she waited outside their apartment for him. He asked what she was doing out in the cold. She stretched out her hands, holding a present, saying she was waiting for him. He asked if she shouldn't be doing things like this with her boyfriend instead. She blushed, looked down, and grabbed his hand, saying she was in high school now and in just 3 more years she'd be a university student. She asked if she could confess to him when she became a university student. Big Bro looked at her, confused, then burst out laughing. Yikes, worst he could say is no, they said. He quickly apologized and said he was fine with it, telling her to focus on studying and not catching a cold for now before walking away. She thought it was natural for her to like the boy next door as she fell onto the snow-covered ground, whispering Merry Christmas. Late at night, she would make clothes for him with his name stitched on them, staying optimistic even after the MC suddenly disappeared one day. No matter what, she believed he was her first love. Later that evening, the MC welcomes a customer who hands him a warm coffee and asks if he has a moment to talk. It's Yuri. After sitting on a bench in silence for a while, the MC breaks the ice, asking if it isn't still chilly at night. She agrees. Resting her hand on a gift-wrapped box, she asks if the MC has a girlfriend. He asks who could afford a girlfriend in this economy. With the SH group constantly eyeing his truck, he says he can't deal with things like that right now. Yuri celebrates while he isn't looking. She picks up her gift and tells him she's now a university student. She tries to give him the gift while saying she still loves him, but her confession is muffled by the sound of a helicopter landing behind her. Both of them turn around in surprise. Sihee waves at the MC from inside the helicopter. Yuri looks from the MC to Sihee, asking what's going on. Sihee runs straight toward the MC, saying it must be fate that she found him here before hugging him. The gift Yuri brought drops to the ground. The MC asks how Sihee found this place. She quickly explains that she attends grad school there. Yuri, terrified, asks what their relationship is. Sihee, still hugging him, says they're engaged and about to be married. Yuri's world goes dark. She wonders if this is why he said he didn't have a girlfriend, because he already had a fiancé. The MC tells Yuri it's all nonsense. Yuri agrees, saying it has to be a joke since he and Sihee could never be a thing. Sihee says it's not a joke and asks if there's a reason it wouldn't work between them. She walks closer to Yuri and looks at her carefully, asking if Yuri perhaps likes the MC as well. Yuri freezes, flustered. The MC quickly steps between them, telling Sihee to stop spouting nonsense. He explains that Yuri is his neighbor, someone he met often during his university days and grew close to. Yuri knows what's coming, but she hopes he won't say it. He says she's like a little sister to him. Let the Yandere arc begin. Ever since seeing him again after all this time, her heart had been bursting, as if it were fate. She hoped he felt the same, but being compared to a little sister pierced straight through her chest. He looks very close with Sihee, and Sihee doesn't hesitate to cling to him with no sense of distance. It all makes Yuri angry. She says she's going to head back since she has an assignment to finish. She turns around and leaves without waiting for a response. The next day, when the MC opens his truck, his first customer is Sihee, saying she's really hungry. He asks if she likes pizza. She says she's had it once at a 3-Michelin-star gourmet restaurant called Stella de Marin, the Destaza prosciutto black truffle caviar royal selection pizza. Bro asks her to speak English. She says she didn't really like the taste of that pizza. He tells her she's never had real pizza then. She asks if he's going to make her a delicious one, looking excited. Bro sees an opportunity for free labor and makes her wear an apron again. She asks if she really has to work for it. He asks why he would give her a freebie. She says she deserves it because she's super pretty. He tells her it's not happening and to focus. He explains that all pizza starts with dough, though they're using pre-fermented dough. She says she's listening while chomping on pepperoni. He quickly tells her to stop eating his ingredients. He sprinkles flour over the dough and spins it to spread it evenly. Sihee laughs, saying she poked a hole in her dough. Riz Lord suddenly grabs her hands to teach her, explaining that stretching dough by hand is harder than it looks. Sihee thinks she'd want to make pizza every day if it's like this. She excitedly asks what she's supposed to do next, drowning in his eyes. Bro suddenly spins the dough, saying centrifugal force spreads it evenly and tells her to try. When she tries, toppings fly everywhere. They put the pizza in the oven, and after 10 minutes, a bacon potato pizza with extra mayo is ready. Sihee takes a bite and starts thinking about how tasty it is, just like Yuri had. She says it feels like she's committing a sin against her body, but the dopamine from the taste won't stop. She asks him to look as she stretches the cheese several feet. A customer asks for a slice of the potato pizza. He packs it up, saying it's perfect timing since it was just baked, and charges $3 for a slice. The girl asks if he's really going to charge her. It's Yuri, but she looks completely different with short hair. The MC asks if it's really her. Sihee quickly grabs his arm, asking if she's the girl they met yesterday. Yuri realizes she can't just sit back and let Sihee take her first love. She's determined to fight for him. The MC, not sensing the tension, apologizes for not recognizing her. Yuri looks down, fiddling with her hair, asking if she looks weird or if she cut it too short. He says that's not the case and tells her she looks really pretty. Yuri mentally throws up a red card, wondering how he can say that while acting like nothing happened. Sihee also starts posing, asking if she doesn't look pretty too. The MC agrees, but with far less enthusiasm. Yuri gets angry, thinking Sihee ruined the good mood they had. She suddenly hops into the truck, saying she wants to help, and grabs his arm. Sihee grabs his other arm, saying she's better at this. Secretary Kim arrives behind Sihee, informing her about a meeting with her academic advisor, and drags her away. Yuri happily waves goodbye. Now short one employee, the MC tells Yuri he'll pay her wages in pizza. She giggles, telling him to stop messing with her. He's not joking, he says it's the owner's decision, tapping her nose. Yuri looks down, saying she spent a lot of money on her makeup. He quickly apologizes and offers to brush the flour off her nose. She smirks and slams his face straight into the flour. Laughing, she says his makeup turned out great and starts cleaning his face, calling him a powder monster. While wiping his face, her heart starts beating rapidly. She asks what his ideal type is. He says he's never really thought about it, but then says he likes girls with short, brightly colored hair. He's not a fan of pale skin, and most importantly, he wants someone who lives earnestly on their own without being spoiled by money or connections. He just listed everything opposite of Sihi. He asks why she suddenly wanted to know his ideal type. Yuri throws the towel at his face, telling him not to look. Her hair is now short and brightly colored. She doesn't have pale skin, and she works hard on her own. She wonders if he was just describing her. She blushes, thinking he might feel the same. Suddenly, someone places a hand on her shoulder, saying they finally found her. Her smile vanishes, replaced by despair. The MC pulls the towel off his face, asking if Yuri was saying something, but then he notices someone standing next to her. He asks who this man is. The guy with long hair says he's Yuri's boyfriend while wrapping himself around her, asking if she got prettier while he wasn't looking. Yuri calls him Tiwon and tells him to stop, saying they already broke up. He grabs her face and asks why she gets to decide that. He says he was just messing around. Yuri begs him to stop, almost about to cry. Suddenly, he screams and her eyes spring open. The MC is pulling on the guy's ears while he yells for him to let go. The MC says he's just pulling his ears so he can hear better, since he clearly seems to have trouble hearing. He then shoves him aside and tells him to get lost, saying he's gone too far. The man asks why the MC is butting into their business and running his mouth. The MC glances at Yuri, who's crying, and says that he's her boyfriend while pulling her closer. Yuri looks at him, surprised and confused. The long-haired man asks how Yuri dared to meet another guy. The MC steps in front of him again and tells him to get lost, warning that he won't stop with just a warning next time. People start recording the commotion. Some recognize Tiwon as the fourth-year rep from the media department. He turns around to leave, saying Yuri will regret this and telling her to just wait and watch. The MC is about to beat him up right there, but Yuri suddenly hugs him from behind, apologizing. He gently peels her hands off him and leans closer, wiping her tears away, saying she doesn't need to apologize since she didn't do anything wrong. She feels embarrassed, wondering why that person had to show up now of all times. Yuri hugs the MC again, saying she can't help but like him even more now. Just then, someone calls out to her. Yuri says it sounds like her friend's voice and asks what's going on. Then she realizes how close she is to him and suddenly knees him in the face without warning. Bleeding, he says she's the one who hugged him. She apologizes, saying she was startled. Bro tells her to use only one tissue because they're really expensive. Yuri peeks out of the truck and asks her friends to hold on for a second. Her friends say it's urgent and that it's about their department. She runs off to the department. No idea why Bro followed, though. One of the members says Tiwon just cut their funding for snack ingredients and told them Yuri had to apologize to him in person if they wanted the money back. The members complain that this is pissing them off, saying they can't sell anything today or they'll have to cover the costs themselves, asking why they have to take the hit for something that's Yuri's fault. Yuri apologizes and says she'll handle it somehow by talking to him. The MC asks if these ingredients aren't already enough while somehow getting himself inside their stall. Yuri asks what he's talking about. The others say it's leftovers from the previous day, the stuff they didn't sell. He ties a towel around his head and asks what they're standing around for, telling them to get ready to sell. Before long, there's a massive crowd outside the stall and the food starts selling out fast. Later that night, Yuri says the MC was seriously amazing, asking what kind of magic he used. He explains that festival bar menus are always the same: fish cakes, sundae, sausages, rolled omelets, and chicken skewers. But if you tweak the menu even a little, it becomes something new. By taking an ordinary kimchi pancake and adding bacon and cheese before grilling it, it turns into a sweet and salty combo. Bacon cheese kimchi pancake plus condensed milk cheese corn pancake. One of her friends asks if the food for table 39 is ready. Yuri says she's coming with it. As she carries the food away, she looks back to thank him again. The MC wonders if he wasn't supposed to be selling pizza at his own stall. But after seeing her smile and the satisfied customers leaving, he admits it wasn't half bad. Some stares linger on Yuri's stall. The MC says he's going to the restroom. A few seconds after he leaves, T1 arrives in the kitchen. Hiding his face, he asks how Yuri can be smiling like that. He looks at the ingredients and says Yuri brought this on herself, then sprays something onto the ingredients. We're all caught up to all chapters. Consider leaving a like and subscribing for future updates. Thanks for watching.